We're joined now by former Navy JAG Don Brown, a constitutional attorney and federal prosecutor. Don, thank you for being with us today. Don, take us through the legal standards which protect ICE agents in using deadly force if they are threatened.
Well, sure. There's a universal principle across every state, every jurisdiction with regard to defenses in criminal law, and that is generally you can use deadly force to stop deadly force. And I reviewed the video that and the van does appear to be moving forward. The agent has to react in a very, very quick manner. This does not, appear to be any type of Islamic type of attack, but we've seen in the past that ISIS, for example, has used vans to run folks over. A van, a car, an SUV is a deadly weapon. And so in the heat of the moment, the agent act properly and fire to protect himself and perhaps protect others. The real question is, why would the lady hit the accelerator there? She'd already been stopped. She'd been ordered to stay still. She hits the accelerator. That's an aggressive move. The agent really had no choice. And I do agree with Secretary Noem's assessment. The tape is the tape. It's not like the car wasn't moving. It was moving. I should say the SUV was moving, and the evidence sort of speaks for itself.
It seems to echo what Senator Markwayne Mullin said, in that if a vehicle is being used to cause death or injury to a federal agent, it becomes a deadly weapon, an act of terrorism, domestic terrorism. Walk us through that argument.
Well, listen, we know, like in France and Germany and other places around the world, and Minnesota, by the way, has a huge Somali infiltration, and I call it, some would say immigration, but we're just on the tail end of hearing about this, this corrupt situation with money coming into these daycares through the loss administration. There's a heavy Somali, population there, and ISIS has used vans and SUVs and cars just to mow people down. We've seen it before with multiple injuries, and Mark Wayne is absolutely correct. That vehicle is a deadly weapon. And when you hit the accelerator and someone's in front of you, you have triggered a deadly weapon. It's about as deadly as it gets.
And this has all come about because we saw 2,000 ICE agents deployed by the Trump administration just earlier this week to Minnesota, the largest DHS operation in history, what DHS is calling it. Minnesota Democrat Governor Tim Walz, who we've seen also in recent days he's not seeking re-election due to all of the fraud allegations that are coming forward. And also the Democrat mayor, Jacob Fry. They're both disputing Kristi Noem's assertions and calling for ICE to be withdrawn from the city. So what grounds are they standing on?
Well, they don't have any legal grounds to force ICE out. ICE has a right to come into any city to enforce federal immigration law, and the DHS has a right to come in and to inspect for fraud that has taken place with the Somali community and possibly in conjunction with the Minnesota governor's office. What we're seeing here is something akin to what we saw here at the Pentagon, where they wanted to haul up Pete Hegseth for the second tap because Pete was talking about bringing Mark Kelly up on a court-martial. This noise being made by the lame duck Democrat governor, thank goodness, of Minnesota, and the Minneapolis mayor is a sideshow to try to take attention away from all the corruption that's gone on with the Somali community. And why in the world our legal immigration system let those people into the United States to begin with is another question.
Well, Secretary Noem has referenced over 100 vehicle rammings, these scenarios against ICE officers, an 8,000% increase in death threats, a 13,000% increase in assaults on these officers. And she is saying that it's because of these sanctuary politicians encouraging this behavior of assaults against law enforcement officers. And what would you say to that?
She's correct. She underscores my point with the statistics about these vehicles ramming, and they're deadly weapons. Here in Charlotte, the Democrat sheriff who created a sanctuary city here is now being investigated by the FBI, which was spurred on by the Democrat district attorney. They created these sanctuary cities. They've used inflammatory rhetoric to incite violence against federal law enforcement, especially ICE agents and Border Patrol as well. And these politicians, these little tin horn politicians that run their mouths and put our federal law enforcement agents in danger, need to pay a price for that, we got to figure out a way of bringing it into that. But the Secretary is absolutely correct in her analysis, and those statistics really cannot be questioned.
Federal prosecutor and former Navy JAG Don Brown, we thank you for your comments today.
Thank you for having me. Looking forward to seeing you again soon. Appreciate it.